looking back at this, like what, 5 6 years now, or seven actually. You came in 14, right?
Yes.
So almost 6 7 years now. What is something that you have learned so far, or what is something that had changed in you compared to what it was before?
I'd say there's a lot of things, that have changed.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that probably stands out the most is, the fact that I wasn't very, you know, social. I didn't really like talking to people a lot,
Mm.
before I came to Australia. Probably because I didn't have to make, a lot of connections. But, once come to Australia, once I've spent a couple of years here, I quickly realized that,
Mm-hmm.
I have to start making connections. I have to start talking to people because I have to be able to trust people, right? And the only way to build trust is to communicate with people and
Mm.
build relationships, right? So I think I've gotten a lot better at building relationships, and this I've probably become a lot more social than I ever was. So that's probably the biggest change, in a positive way as well.
Mm. Yeah, you find it much more effective, or it's essential kind of, like being here, networking, knowing more people, because it's different out here compared to what we used to have back home, where either if we have a degree or if we had like proper, we knew people. That was one of the things, because we were born there, our parents were born there, so we knew people. So somehow out there it was kind of much easier in a sense to find jobs or to know about things without even knowing people. But when you come to a place like Australia, I think networking is very very essential. That's also something that I've learned after coming here only, like how much you need people, because that's how you grow, that's how you know about a lot of things. If you are around the right kinds of people, then that helps you with your career or with your business.
Absolutely. I think, exactly like you said, right? I think the fact that I knew people back home, I had my, family, I didn't really need to socialize as much.
Mm,
But, starting off in Australia, I didn't really know a lot of people. I had a few relatives. I didn't really have any friends.
mm,
So I had to push myself to get to know more people, right? Because you can't really survive on your own without any social interaction, right?
yeah.
Because human beings, we are all social animals, right? So we have to build connections, and especially, in a completely new country, we have to go out of our way and get
Mm,
to know more people, right? So absolutely, man, I couldn't agree more with you.
yeah. What else do you have, like in terms of your mindset or in terms of your lifestyle? Do you have any like changes now?
In terms of my mindset, I'd say, I didn't really like talking in public before. I had a big
Mm,
phobia of speaking in public. In fact, it was one of my biggest fears, right?
mm-hmm,
Talking in front of people. So overcoming that, that's probably been the proudest thing, for me.
mm-hmm.
Just being able to present my ideas, talk in front of people, and being able to present whatever is in my mind, right? That's for me, that's been the biggest mindset shift for me.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know. It's I like to ask this question to most of the people out there, because like it's always different how people think, how our perspectives are. And I always like to have at the same thing from a different angle. I like to have like different angles and different perspective, because I think that helps you understand anything. Like anything, if you look at it from different perspective, helps you understand that thing better. And that's what we're trying to do here, like understanding the stories of different international students out here.
I
So,
agree.
mm-hmm,
I think it's a good question to get to really know the kind of journeys people have been through, and the
mm,
breakthroughs they've had. It's a good question. It got me thinking as well.
yeah, it's always good to hear from, like when you hear like different stories of different people who are in a similar situation like yours, you are somehow able to relate to them, and you get inspired by just listening to some of the success stories or some of the people how they dealt with their problems. or you might be having something like that for any of our listeners, and they might be able to actually learn from it and solve it.
Yeah, exactly.